Let's do question one. Here we have this sequence 2, comma 16, comma 128, and so on. We say that a sequence is geometric if the ratio between any two consecutive terms is the same. So let's find the ratio. I'm going to find this ratio a2 over a1. That is the second term divided by the first term, and this gives the ratio that is 16 over 2, and this equals 8. And also find the ratio between a3 and a2, that is a3 over a2, and this equals 128 over 16, and this is also 8. So we say that these two ratio are the same, that is the ratio between the consecutive terms are the same. So therefore we say that the common ratio are equal to 8. Since the ratio is the same between any two consecutive terms, we say that the sequence is a geometric sequence. This is a geometric sequence. Now let's write the next two terms of the geometric sequence. If we can observe, we obtain this 16 when we multiply this 2 with the common ratio 8. That is 2 times 8 is 16, and also we obtain this 128 when we multiply this 16 with this common ratio 8. So likewise, to get the next two numbers, we have to multiply the previous number with 8, and so we have to do 128 times 8, and this gives 1024. And so I can put 1024 here, and once again to find the next term we have to multiply this 1024 with 8. So we multiply 1024 with 8, and this gives 8192. So I put this 8192. So therefore we can say that the next two terms of the geometric sequence are 1024, comma 8192. Let's do question 2. So here we find the ratio between the first and the second term. That is, we do a2 over a1. A2 is the second term, which is negative 900, and this is divided by a1, which is 2700. We can reduce this to simple fraction as negative 9 over 27, and this equals negative one third. And let's find the other ratio, that is the ratio of the third and the second term, which is a3 over a2. A3 is the third term, so here the third term is 300, and the second term is negative 900, and so this is reduced to negative 3 by 9, or otherwise it is reduced to negative one third. And clearly we see that these two ratios are the same. That is, we see that this ratio is which is represented as r equals negative 1 by 3 is the same between the two consecutive terms. So therefore we say that this sequence is geometric. Now let's determine the next two terms of this geometric sequence. Clearly, we can see that we obtain this negative 900 when you multiply this 2700 with negative one third. Or otherwise, we can say that if we divide this 2700 by negative 3, we get negative 900. And likewise, you multiply this negative 900 with negative one third, we get positive 300. So to obtain the next two terms of the sequence, we take this 300 and multiply with negative one third. It is 300 multiplied with negative one third, and this equals, we can do this cancellation. 300 goes into 3 as 100 times, so it is negative 100. So I put this the next term, and we should multiply this negative 100 with negative one third. And so when we do that, negative 100 times negative one third, This negative negative will become positive. 100 times 1 is 100, and we have this denominator 3. So it is positive 100 over 3. So therefore, we see that the next two terms of the geometric sequence are right next to two terms are negative 100 comma 100 over 3. We now verify if this sequence is geometric. So let's find the ratio of the second and first term, that is a2 over a1, and this equals 10 over 5, and this equals 2. Now let's find the other ratio between third and the second term, that is a3 over a2, and this equals 30 over 10, and so this gives 3. Clearly we can see that these two ratios are not the same, that is 2 is not equal to 3. So therefore we see that the ratio between the two consecutive terms are not the same. So we can say that this sequence is not a geometric sequence. Let's verify this sequence. So I find the ratio a2 over a1. A2 is 12 and A1 is negative 3, and so this equals negative 4. Now let me find the other ratio, that is A3 over A2, and this equals negative 48 over 12, and this equals negative 4. So we see that these two ratios are the same. That is, we say that the ratio of this sequences r equals negative 4 is the same between the two consecutive terms. So therefore we say that this sequence is geometric. Now let's find the next two terms of the geometric sequence. Clearly we can see that we get this 12 when we multiply this negative 3 with negative 4, that is the common ratio. And also this negative 48 is obtained when we multiply 12 with this common ratio negative 4. And likewise, to get the next two terms, we should multiply the previous term, that is negative 48 with negative 4, and this equals positive 192. And also we multiply this positive 192 with the negative 4, and this equals negative 768. So therefore we say that the next two terms of this geometric sequence are 192 comma negative 768. We now verify this sequence. So I find this ratio a2 over a1, and this equals a2 is negative 1 by 2, which is the second term, divided by the first term, which is negative 1. And so this negative and this negative will get cancelled. So it's basically 1 by 2 divided by 1, and this equals a number divided by 1 equals the number, that is 1 by 2. And let's find the next ratio, that is a3 over a2, and so this equals a3 is negative 1/4 and a2 is negative half. So we can see that we can cancel these two negatives, and I put this numerator fraction as 1 by 4, and I multiply with the reciprocal of the denominator fraction, that is 2 by 1, and so we can reduce this to this goes 2 times, so it is equivalent to 1 half. So clearly these two ratio are the same. That is, we say that the ratio r equal to 1 by 2, which is the common ratio of this sequence, which is the same. So therefore we say that this is a geometric ratio. I'm sorry, it is a geometric sequence. And so we can find the next two terms. We multiply this 1 negative 1 with 1 by 2 to get a negative 1 by 2. Similarly, we multiply this negative 1 by 2 with 1 by 2 to get negative 1 by 4. So therefore, to find the next two terms, we multiply the previous term, that is negative 1 by 4 with 1 by 2. We get negative 1 by 8, and then we multiply this negative 1 by 8 with 1 by 2, we get negative 1 by 16. So therefore the next two terms of this geometric sequence are negative 1 by 8 comma negative 1 by 16. We now do question 6. So let's find the ratio, that is A2 over A1, and this equals A2 is 9 and A1 is 8. So we get this fraction 9 eighths. And let's also find the other ratio, that is A3 over A2, and this equals 10 ninths. And clearly we can see that these two are not equal, because 9 by 8 is not equal to 10 by 9. And so we observe that the ratio between the two consecutive terms are not the same. So therefore we say that it is not a geometric sequence.